Today in the news, we got Igor versus Austin, some Nvidia news, and more. What's up guys, I'm Snows, and this is your boot sequence. Before that, let me take a second to thank today's video sponsor, Whokeys. Whokeys is where you can buy keys like this one for Windows 10 Pro. Get yourself a license with that link down in the description and click buy now and enter the code BTS25 for 25% off. And then you just submit your order, and once you're through with your payment and you receive your key, go to your computer, click on the Windows button, type in activate, and update or change your product key. It's that simple. Let's get started with the PS5. So a couple of days ago, the YouTube channel Austin Evans released a video about the new-ish generation of PS5s. As is, the main difference was the fact that the newer version was about 300 grams lighter, which is quite a lot considering its size. After opening it up, they realized that the cooler for the new PS5's SOC was significantly smaller, and that a lot of copper parts were either replaced with different material or just gone altogether. All of this is what resulted in that 300 gram difference. Now, before disassembly, they actually went ahead and checked the exhaust of the PS5 with a thermal camera. At the back of the new console, the temperature read was significantly higher than on the older, heavier model. So with that information, Austin kinda rushed to conclusions and assumed that because of that, the new PS5 must run hotter, which means that it's worse, hence the title. Even going as far as to say that in the long term, performance of the console could drop with the accumulation of dust and stuff. After that video went viral, a lot of people were mad and triggered. It even inflated the price of the first generation PS5s. People challenged the video and what he had to say, and Austin did a response video in which, well, he just kept the same point of view. Alright, so now we get to the news. Someone tested this whole thing and came to a completely different conclusion. This person is Igor Walosek from Igor's lab, and he tested both PS5 versions using thermocouples on many parts of the PS5. While the exhaust was indeed hotter, the actual temperature of the SoC was a lot cooler, 11 degrees cooler to be exact, with a temperature of about 40 degrees C for the new console and 51 degrees C for the old one. Other parts of the PS5 were slightly hotter, like the memory and the VRM, but it was within operating specs. In fact, all of this is within operating spec. So don't worry, if you buy a PS5 in the near future, it doesn't matter which version you're getting. I agree with Igor that Austin should have done more testing, but damn, did Igor really have to be that sassy? I mean, look at this. This man is a savage. Anyways, it's not like a console maker to actually release a console that's gonna overheat, right? Yeah. Next up, we got ransomware. That's right, send me a tip at this address or I'm gonna steal and encrypt all of your data. A team of international researchers developed a way to protect you from malware without having to do anything. So no antivirus installs, no Windows Defender prompts, nothing. The feature is called SSD Insider++. It's a firmware on the SSD that would detect out of the ordinary activity that resembles encryptions and make it stop right away. Honestly, that's pretty cool. Now there is a bit of a downside since it increases latency by almost 20% and throughput by 8%, but if you were, let's say, building a PC for an elder or somebody that doesn't know much about computers, you might want to look for that feature in an SSD. Of course, it's not available yet, so you gotta wait until something like this actually comes to market. Next up in GPU news, we got a little nugget of a rumor. So Greymon55, a very active leaker over on Twitter, replied to another user who was wondering, well, how long until the next generation of GPUs? Greymon replied that the next gen of GPUs will be available next year in October. Not only that, but he specifically said that he's talking about next gen in general, so AMD and Nvidia. According to Greymon's tweets, that will mean that Nvidia has 2 releases planned next year, because he also said that the Green Team isn't done with its Ampere lineup. A refresh of it with, of course, the Nvidia Super branding would be coming early next year. Although to start, it would apparently only be for laptops. We don't know if the RTX 30 Super refresh would come to desktop, but we do know that it would include apparently the GA103 chip, which isn't in any currently available GPUs. It's also a pretty high-end chip, so I wouldn't be surprised if it came to desktops too. And lastly, let's do the free game check. From Epic, we got 2 free games, starting with Neo. Or Nio, or maybe Nya, but it's the complete edition. It's a beautiful action RPG set in the samurai era, and it's the complete edition, so no DLC needed. There's also Sheltered, a pretty looking 8-bit style management survival game. The gameplay seems fine from what I've seen on YouTube, but it's definitely not my jam or my cup of tea. Also, surprisingly, here we got a free game from the Ubisoft store, Far Cry 3. It's free for now until Saturday at 6:30 a.m. Unfortunately, it doesn't include the Blood Dragon extension, which in my opinion was superior to the main game. That's gonna cost you an extra 15 bucks. Anyway, so go download it if you want to. And that's pretty much it for the catch-up, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Drop a like if you liked it, a comment if you want to talk about today's stories. As usual, you can click right here to see the latest video, right here to subscribe. Stay frosty, my dudes, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. So this is the second time that I record this video, because the first time there were no audio. Or my cup of tea, or my brisket. Biscuit? It's biscuit, not brisket. Brisket is meat, biscuit is tea, jam. You get what I mean.